But first, I want to just take a little side trip to tell you about a special event that's coming up. If you've been listening to this podcast, you probably have heard me mention that I'm writing a book and I got a really amazing book deal. And if you've been wondering how I got a book deal, I have a hot tip for you. One of the things that I did to get it was, like an artist, do all the research about the industry that would give me the best insight about what a good book proposal would look like, what the requirements of that are, who sends it, who it gets sent to, what they're looking for, what makes it a juicy one. And also just how the industry itself works, right? Knowing that stuff is just one, it's great for setting your mindset because writing a book is no small deal. And the writing of the book is actually only part one, right? Is only one part of the journey. The beginning part of the journey is finding an agent. The next part of the journey is writing a book proposal. For me, I spent 8 months on that process in order to really, really nail it. And then you write the book, and then it's not over, right? After you write the book, then publicizing that book and getting it on shelves, getting the media appearances and attention that you need to actually make the sales of the book that make it worthwhile for your publisher and make that publisher really excited to give you the next book. These are all really hard parts of the process. So to me, getting to really understand what that process looks like, soup to nuts, was critically important, both for just setting my expectations of how big a project this is, but also how to do the best job I possibly could do. So if you're curious how I did that research and how I got so much insider knowledge, as well as connections within the industry, which, let's face it, they're important. I attended a conference called Book to Brand, which is hosted by a really wonderful now friend, Farnoosh Torabi. She's a personal finance journalist and author, and she's a wonderful person. She's very, very transparent, and she is hosting a conference on March 7th in New York City, and tickets are available now. And I encourage you to check it out, see what it takes. I will also say that if you look at the price of the conference and you feel a little lump in your throat about it, I just want to tell you that your spidey sense might be saying, now's not the time for you to write a book. Because in fact, this is only one of probably many moments like that. Hiring a publicist is going to feel like that. Taking the time out of your paying work in order to write a book is going to feel like that. There's a lot of money that goes into writing a book, and you might not be in the position to do it. So if money is super, super tight and that's a top concern, I really think it's a good idea to do some of the background research about the process of writing a book and really understand what you're getting into. Because if a couple $1,000s up front feels like a lot of money to you, I'm going to warn you, it's not the last time you're going to face a decision like that. But what I want to say is, if you do feel ready, if you want to start the journey, you want to get educated, and you're also willing to make the investment, in a position to make some investment in it, as well as to get in the room with the people, the agents, the publishers, the people from the publishing industry. If you want to get in that room and you want to learn how the sausage is made, this conference is the way to do it. I really love Farnoosh. I learned so much about her, and I credit my book deal in part to the stuff that I learned from her. Specifically, I nailed my book proposal, and that was because of Farnoosh and what I learned from her about writing a good book proposal. So if you're interested in that event is March 7th. P.S. It's for nonfiction authors. So it's not if you're writing the next great American novel. It's not for fiction. It's only for nonfiction. But if you're interested in writing a book, if you think you have a book in you, this is a really great conference. I've done it and I really recommend it. So I'm going to put the link to that in my show notes because this conference is coming up and I think it could really benefit you if you have ever considered writing a nonfiction book or are interested in what it takes to get a book deal.